Hi, I'm Nigel Skinner of Andrew Alliance here at the Festival of Biologics in Basel. It's actually one of 4 events that we're doing this week, 2 in Europe, 2 in the United States. It's been an exciting first day, I have to say, and we've had lots of engagement with people here at this conference. It's interesting. One point that's come up a lot is can we do a sample protocol sample prep protocol for ELISA. ELISA, which has been an industry workhorse for 40 years now, for drug discovery, for diagnostics, for applications in the food industry. And it's interesting actually because 2 points. Firstly, our Andrew Plus pipetting robot happens to be running an ELISA protocol at the moment. And secondly, I'd also like to highlight the fact that a few weeks ago, we actually rolled out a protocol library, an online protocol library in OneLab. And if you want to learn more about that, check it out at onelab.andrewalliance.com to see the protocols that are in the library. But it's an interesting point because if I look at our mission very central to us, and that is addressing the reproducibility crisis head on. One of the key elements, if you like, one of the key causes has been identified as some of the tools being used, like for example, manual pipettes, the experience of the user, the technique of the user can lead to a lot of variation, and that variation can have an impact on the research of a given team of researchers. It can make it difficult to reproduce that research. And the connection I want to make here is if we think about the reproducibility crisis, if we think about protocols being made available online in important areas of research like next generation sequencing, qPCR, ELISA, what's the connection between the two? Well, here's an example just to bring that to mind. About 7 years ago, a company called Miragen, whose focus was development of microRNA-based therapeutics, were looking at some research that was produced by a research team headed up by Chenyu Zhang at Nanjing University. And what Zhang had published was relating to cross-kingdom transfer, if you like, between plants and mammals. In effect, what he showed was that microRNA in rice could regulate liver genes in mice, actually. When Miragen sought to reproduce that work, they couldn't reproduce it, and ultimately ended up attributing the results to experimental nutritional differences in nutritional levels. Which of course was different to the point being made by the researchers. Now, the point I'm making here is not to challenge, dispute, or otherwise the outcomes and differences in opinion between a particular area of research. But it is fair to say that an ongoing challenge is reproducing experimental research, and whether that's to do with fake research or whether it's to do with differences in the ability to repeat a particular protocol, the point is nevertheless a very important one. And if we come to the latter point, namely that of the protocol, it's fair to say that some of the tools that we use, especially if we use them manually, where they're subject to human variation, if you like, can be problematic. And that's where the benefits of having automation can do an awful lot to ensuring ability to replicate important research. And it's particularly important, of course, if that leads to life-saving new medications. Coming back to ELISA, since that's kind of where we started this discussion, I want to highlight the fact that in our next release of more protocols, we'll be releasing another 7 protocols at the end of the month. We will be including in that an ELISA protocol as well. And so that's nice to see, particularly given the engagement we've had and the requests that we've had for making available sample prep protocols for ELISA. So check it out. And make sure you tune into our webinar on OneLab, which will be available in early November, and whose date we'll be announcing shortly. Thank you very much.